Hey everyone, it's Hydro Pump here. Today I got a very special video for you today. Today I'm going to be going over Infernity combos for 2014 hat format. And Infernity and Sylvans are probably the most complicated decks in the format. There's like a lot of combos and things going on. So I'm going to be showing you guys just like the combos, like basic combos like you want to go for Infernity. Because like this is just gonna be a 3-card combo in all these situations, but this is kind of like where you want to end up at with, you don't want to be doing too much because you can do too much with Infernity when you're trying to combo. If that makes any sense, like normally you would have a 6-card hand here going first, and that's what we're gonna base this off of going first, turn 0 pretty much. But you can kind of attempt to be doing too much and then your field just ends up awkward, and it'll make more sense once we get into it. But I'm going to be showing you all the different variations of this combo, like these 3-card openings, and just kind of like compare them at the end. So we're just going to jump right into it. So pretty much all you need is, to start off with, you need a Grepher, Infernity Archfiend, or Staggering Street Patrol, and Necromancer. And just to show like everything that you need for the combo. So here's pretty much everything you need for the combo. For all the combos, you will need 2 Necromancers, 2 Archfiends, and Dark Grepher. We'll just put these in the hand because that's what we're going to use. You'll need Infernity Launcher, Infernity Barrier, Infernity Break, and 2 Staggering Street Patrols. Now these rest of these cards is if you go for the Heiress line where you're sending the Heiress to the grave with the Wall Chain. So if you do that, you'll be searching the Archfiend Labyrinth, which is the field spell. And if you're using that, you'll need the 3rd Infernity Archfiend. And if you're using that, you're searching the 3rd Infernity Trap. So I just want to get that out of the way. And then this is kind of like the extra deck you use. So you need to use 2 Wall Chains. You need to at least use 1 Leviaire, and sometimes you can use the second one, and then you need at least 1 Diamond Direwolf, and then the luxury picks are Key Beetle and Abyss Dweller. Okay, so starting off with the combo, yep, these are going to be all starting off the same way. So you'll normal summon Dark Grepher, and you'll send Infernity Archfiend. Again, you can have Infernity Archfiend or Staggering Street Patrol in your hand. You're just sending one or the other. So you'll banish Staggering Street Patrol, get Necromancer. You'll use Necromancer effect to summon Street Patrol or an Infernity Archfiend. Archfiend effect will activate, and you will search your second Necromancer. Then you'll overlay Archfiend and Dark Grepher. Now, very important, you have to detach the Infernity Archfiend. You can't detach the other material. You have to detach Infernity Archfiend. So you're going to be using the send effect for the Wall Chain here to send your second Street Patrol. You'll banish that Street Patrol similar to how you did the first time. Summon Necromancer. Use the second Necromancer effect here. Summon Archfiend and Archfiend effect. And you'll search Infernity Launcher. So you use both Necromancer effects. These little tokens or counters is for us using their effect. So both of them are used up. Then you go into Leviaire and you detach Necromancer to summon Staggering Street Patrol. And then you got Street Patrol and Archfiend. So this is where you overlay into Diamond Direwolf. So here, this is where like pretty much all the combos kind of diverge. There's just like, this is where like the decisions come in. But they all kind of get to this point here, and then they break off from there. Now the reason that you want Diamond Direwolf your own cards, because you're going to be using Diamond Direwolf to destroy Leviaire or Wall Chain. One, you get your Infernity cards in the grave for Launcher to use this effect again, so you need to, and then 2, you need to make some space, because you only have 2 monster zones left right now. Once you use Diamond Direwolf, you'll have 4 monster zones, so you can just kind of keep on going, get more trap searches, and make a bigger board. So you kind of have to go neg to go plus. So use your Diamond Dire Wolf effect. For this one, we'll destroy the Leviaire. So if you're going to destroy a Leviaire, you're going to be summoning 2 Necromancers with your launcher. So if you're destroying Leviaire, you're going to probably have a full monster zone of 5 monsters on your field when you're done with your combo. Whereas if you destroy Lava Vault Chain, you're going to have 1 Necromancer still into Leviaire. So you're most likely going to have a field of 4 monsters, which is they all have pros and cons, but 1 less monster zone can make it so you can't like top deck a monster and be field locked, and you can't do anything with that monster. And only have 4 monster zones. It gives you some flexibility later on. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to destroy the Leviaire here, and we're going to use the Infernity launcher here to summon Necromancer. You're going to use Necromancer effect to summon the Archfiend. Now you're going to get Archfiend effect. Now, very important here, you need to search Infernity Archfiend because your grave is Staggering Street Patrol. That's it. You don't have any other Infernity monsters to summon from the grave for your second Necromancer, so you don't want to search the trap here. You want to search Infernity Archfiend because you need to like go further in your combo. Now you're going to use the second Street Patrol, or use the Street Patrol effect to summon your second Archfiend. Then you're going to get Archfiend effect. Now this is where you search your first trap. It's very important to search your first trap here because you want to use the second Necromancer effect that you haven't used yet. Which if you search like another monster or something, you won't be able to use the effect. So we're gonna get Infernity Barrier. We're gonna add it to our hand and set it. But for the purpose of these videos, I'm just gonna leave it face up. Now here you can make your second Lava Vault Chain and detach to send. And then this is where Archfiend Heiress comes into play. So you're going to send this, and you're going to search Archfiend Labyrinth, and you're going to activate it. Now you're going to activate your second Necromancer to summon for an Archfiend effect to search your second Infernity Trap. Now you can overlay for a second Leviaire, detach, and summon Street Patrol. And then from here, you can use the Archfiend Labyrinth to banish a fiend on your field to summon an Archfiend monster with the same level as another Archfiend monster in your field. So you're just going to be summoning another Archfiend from your deck. And then you get the third Infernity Trap. So this field is pretty good. You end up with 3 traps. If you're saying Archfiend Heiress, you're going to have 3 traps. And pretty much if you're not, you're going to have 2 traps. So that's kind of like the big difference there of sending Archfiend Heiress or not. So let's like evaluate this field. You have 2 Lava Vault Chains, which is a little redundant because you're not really going to do anything with them later on. Like, I guess next turn you can detach one to send Street Patrol, like a third Street Patrol, or just get something out of the deck, and then you can stack something else there. If you play like a third Necromancer, you can stack like a third Necromancer. But yeah, Lava Vault Chains are kind of just redundant. They're not doing a whole lot. They're just kind of like vanillas at this point. Leviaire can summon a monster from your banish pile next turn. So if you go Infernity Break to banish the Necromancer, you can technically provide that with Leviaire next turn. And then your 2 Archfiends, with the field spell up, all your fiends gain 500 attack. So these are actually 2300 beaters. So that actually is pretty relevant because they get really big. You can't run them over. So if you're in a situation where your opponent's trying to, like, their win con is to beat over Archfiends for some reason, they're going to be too big in this scenario if that happens to come up. And you got 2 Infernity Archfiends here with this. So if they happen to out one, you still have a second one. You don't really care if they out one. And pretty much with this field, you can make a rank 4 play with the 2 Archfiends on field. So you can kind of like make a second Dire Wolf, clear the field, and then you can summon something with Levier. You can also detach with this Revolver Chain, and then banish this Archfiend to summon this Archfiend and get a search. So there's a lot of good follow-up with this field, and you end it with 3 traps. So it's just like a little slight variant to that last one. Before you make the Levier, you can actually just have your 2 Necromancers here. And then this is before you use Palaverment to the effect as well. So instead of making Levier to summon Street Patrol, and banish Street Patrol to summon an Archfiend, you can actually just banish your Necromancers, so using Palaverment to banish your Necromancer, to then summon, use an Archfiend to search your Infernity trap. Now this is like a slight variant, because pretty much your Necromancer is in the spot of where Levier would be. But you can technically have this Necromancer in attack, and then have like your make another rank 4. You can make like Key Beetle or Dweller in this spot, or you can just have a Necromancer in defense and keep your Archfiends. But yeah, there's pros and cons to each of these as well. So say you have, this is your end field here. You your follow-up turn, say you still have Barrier in play, you can make another Diamond Direwolf with your 2 Archfiends, and then have you can change Necromancer to face-up attack mode, so Barrier will still be alive. Where if you had Levier instead, and you make a rank 4 play, you wouldn't have a face-up Infernity monster, so you would be you can potentially fall into like a Torrential Tribute or something like that. So yeah, adding on to this play where it's like you can make Key Beetle here. So you could have the Key Beetle to protect your Infernity barrier. Say your opponent can't go like MST Dark Hole. Or you can do something along the lines where you protect your Necromancer instead. This is whereas if they go set 5, and then you have to blind break 2 of their back row, but they still have like a needle ceiling set, you would still have your Necromancer protected. So that's kind of like niche things you have to worry about if you're making your field. And vice versa. Instead of making Key Beetle, say you're playing as something like Mermel's, you can make Abyss Dweller here, and then you would have 2 materials for Dweller. So on their turn you can Abyss Dweller, and then on your following turn you can Abyss Dweller as well. And then you can Necromancer summon Archfiend, and then Palaverment, banish Necromancer, summon another Archfiend. Okay, so this is like where again, we're back here where we have Diamond Direwolf on our field. We're kind of like in the middle of the combo. And this is kind of like the other way we can do things. So instead of destroying our Levier, we're going to destroy our Revolver Chain. So we're going to do Direwolf to destroy Chain. So we'll get Archfiend Necromancer. And now we're going to do the same thing where our field is our grave is just Street Patrol. So we'll search Infernity Archfiend because we don't have anything else to summon. We'll banish the Street Patrol, summon Archfiend, and again here we'll search our first trap. So we'll get Infernity Barrier, and here we can make our second Levier and attach this in the Archfiend Heiress to get the Archfiend Palaverment. Activate Palaverment, activate Necromancer to get Archfiend, Archfiend effect. We'll get Break, then we can activate the Palaverment to banish the Necromancer to summon our third Archfiend out of deck, and then we have 3 traps. So here, this field, you only have 4 monster zone taken up. You have 2 Archfiends, 3 traps, but you're not like super restricted. If you don't have to really worry about drawing a monster as your top deck, because you're gonna have like plenty of space here. It just doesn't make things as awkward. And here you can go like Levier effect. You can go Palaverance effect with Bury Your Life, so it doesn't get like as dicey as doing the, you know, having the previous fields. And you also don't have the redundancy of having 2 Lavalval chains on the field, because like once you get, you know, 1 in circulation, you don't really need the second one. So it's kind of nice just to have the 1 and then the Levier, which can actually act as a extender. Okay, so we're back here again at Diamond Direwolf. Now we're gonna go over a situation where it's like you don't have the Arching Heiress. Say you had to use it to get Arching at some point, and Arching Heiress is already in your grave, so you can't search a field spell to then get a 3rd trap. So we're kind of gonna go over just what you do without that. So again, you can go Diamond Direwolf here to destroy Lavalval Chain, and you can use Launcher to search or get Archfiend Necromancer, and again get Archfiend, Banish Street Patrol, and then Archfiend effect will get you your 1st trap. Now here you can kind of there's no real point in making the Lavalval Chain because like there's nothing else to send to you know, really get there. So like this is a good scenario where you can make one of your luxury XYZ monsters like Key Beetle or Dweller. We'll go with Key Beetle because it's a little more generic than Dweller. But Dweller can be good against like Hat, Mermel. Those were like 2 big ones because Hat has like the trap tricks and then the, you know, the hands. So you can just like Dweller shut all that off. But Key Beetle's good. It's like protecting your field in general. So again, you can go Key Beetle, protect Necromancer, or you can protect Barrier. Barrier, just so you can't get MST'd. But then it makes it a little awkward where you want to, you know, activate your Barrier, then you're kind of just negating your Key Beetle. So usually I go to protect the Necromancer, and then we'll use Necromancer effect to summon Arching, and then you can get the Infernity break as well. So this would be your field. You have Arching, Necromancer, Levier, and Key Beetle, and then 2 traps. Again, you can't really get to the 3rd trap without Arching Heiress being sent to the grave to get to the field spell, because in a scenario like this, you can technically banish like Necromancer to get your 3rd Arching to get another search. So that's kind of like the key difference there. And usually when you don't have Arching Heiress, it's not like there's not like a big point to destroying the Levier, because again, Levier is like a resource compared to like the Lavalval Chain earlier when you're doing like the Diamond Direwolf pop, because like you're just going to be making an exceed monster with you know, there's no real point. I'll go ahead and show that to you right now actually. Okay, so I'm going to show you what happens if you destroy your Levier instead of your Lavalval Chain. In this scenario, if you don't have like Arching Heiress in your deck. So you go Diamond Direwolf to destroy Levier, and you go Arching, or you go Launcher to get 2 Necromancers. You go Necromancer effect to get Arching. You search another Arching, banish the Street Patrol, get Arching effect to get the trap. So this is you know, Barrier here. Now you don't really, there's no real point in making a 2nd Lavalval Chain because you're not sending anything important. You don't have Arching Heiress to send. That's kind of like the main problem here. Now you can go for one of your utility XYZs, or if you're in like the middle of a game, you can make like another Diamond Direwolf to destroy something on your opponent's side of the field, or you can make Rhapsody and Berserk to banish stuff from their grave. You're kind of just using like your utility XYZ monsters here. So you could just make a Key Beetle, or you can make a Abyss Dweller. Now you can technically go Key Beetle to protect your Barrier. So yeah, we'll just make an Abyss Dweller here, because it's kind of like generic. Now you do have to detach one of your materials to get Arching in the grave, but you go Necromancer effect to get Arching, and then you'll search another Arching here. That's kind of like one difference here, because you don't have the Palabyrinth. So you'll overlay for Levier, get Staggering Street Patrol. Then you can make like a Key Beetle here, or again a generic XYZ, just to get Street Patrol in the grave. Then you could ban Street Patrol to get Archfiend to get your second trap. So you make like a really big field, and then your Key Beetle effect can protect the barrier, for instance, or your Levier, because those are probably the most important ones on the field. I guess one problem here is that your field is clogged, like you don't have any free monster zones, so your opponent, it's pretty much up to your opponent to start destroying your stuff. But say you're playing against something like Mermel, where they're really reliant on their grave effects, like Dweller would just kind of shut them down, and then this is enough on the field for game. So I can see this being good against something like Mermel. It's a little dicey against something like Hat, because you do only have like the one break. So say they set a bunch of back row, you can only set one of their sets, and then like you can go Key Beetle, protect your Levier, and then that's all you can really do. You just have to like kind of start attacking your opponent's field. So again, popping the Levier there with Diamond Direwolf instead of the Wall Chain kind of clogs your field a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much all the combos that I got to show you guys for today, and those are the main ones you want to go for. Again, this pretty much it comes down to if you go Diamond Direwolf to destroy your Lavalval Chain or Levier. Most of the time, I like to destroy the Lavalval Chain, just so you end up with a field of 4 monsters usually, and like you don't have to worry about clogging your field and whatnot. And then if you get to your but if you want to get to your utility XYZs like Dweller or Key Beetle, you can also have that option as well. So and then you can kind of just pick whatever one you like the most out of, depending on the situation that you're in and whatnot, the go for. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment down below what combo you enjoy the most or what field you like the most. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you all in the next one.